Hello, today Savannah and Cortney will be presenting our final proposal for the Salud Family Health Clinic located in Aurora, Colorado. Salud Family Health challenged us to design a wellness campus dedicated to holistic healthcare to serve Aurora's diverse community while addressing the five emphasis areas: clinical care access, affordable housing, early childhood education, food access and nutrition, and workforce economic development.
Our master plan identifies the existing networks surrounding our site: vehicle paths, pedestrian paths, green space, and built space, and extending them onto our site, creating connections through the site to the existing Highline Canal, major roads, and bus stops. The networks created a push and pull on the topography at the intersections where they cross each other, creating a series of nested networks. These nested networks influence our programmatic spaces and building masses, integrating the site as a whole into Aurora's already existing community network.
Where these networks crossed over major roads both adjacent to and on our site, pedestrian bridges were designed in order to create a visual extension of the existing networks from the Highline Canal. These bridges also create a safe crossing point for families visiting our site, reducing the risk of potential pedestrian car accidents along Colfax, while also making the bridges a destination and resting place for visitors on our site.
After developing paths of least resistance with bridge connectors through our site, we placed program around the site, hugging interior green spaces. As a result, two distinct building masses were formed that we defined as either an L or rectangular shaped mass. Our rectangular masses, community center and retail, have pedestrian paths crossing over the top, sinking them into the topography, creating a green roof where additional program, such as a farmer's market, can occur. Our L-shaped masses, clinic, retail, and housing, were then raised up on stilts above the ground, where networks could flow under them. Finally, the corner conditions were then carved out by the pedestrian path, separating the L masses into two separate orthogonal rectangles.
Aurora's existing networks not only influenced our master plan but also informed how we designed the health clinic. The Salud Family Health Clinic started out as a piece of the separated L-shaped building that was raised above the ground on stilts. The clinic's massing was created by the paths on the site being pulled up through the building to create a circulation network within the building. At the major point the path came into the building, it split the building and allowed circulation to travel up, carving out the main atrium space. Two additional atrium spaces were carved out at the northeast corner and the center of the west facade as releasing points back onto the site for the circulation network. Once the atrium masses were defined, they became mostly green spaces that surrounded the program masses. The program masses were then carved into, creating more green spaces or terraces. The green spaces and atriums were then connected, creating a green network.
After designing three different types of networks in the building: circulation, program massing, and green, each network was defined by a material that formed the elevations and overall feel of the project. The circulation network was defined by a material that could be an indoor flooring as well as continue onto the site as a path material. The green network was defined by greenery as well as a wood material. The program massing was defined by an orthogonal stone material that formed the exterior skin of the building.
Through the massing of the clinic, we developed two distinct masses that program was distributed in. When you enter the building, the main atrium space becomes the waiting room at all three levels for most of the programs of the building. With a garden at the center, a cafe to the side, ample seating, and check-in kiosks, the atrium serves as a waiting room, resting space, dining space, and green space for patients and providers. The large staircase serves as a connector to the west atrium and the Colfax Bridge entrance of the building.
On the first floor, we place more public programs like the daycare and cafe in spaces that need quick access, like the pharmacy and acute care. The acute care is the only program space not accessible through the atrium. Instead, it is given its own entrance on the front of the building to keep those that are actively sick and possibly contagious away from those at the clinic for a checkup. Acute care is also special in its ability to expand. When there is a higher demand for acute care, the flex zone of exam rooms could be used for acute. When there is a high demand for primary care, the elevators to above primary care zones allow the flex zone to be used for primary care.
On the second floor, programs take advantage of vertical adjacencies to other programs, while allowing programs like education and lab spaces to have close proximity to other programmatic spaces. The family care is placed above the daycare and connects to the outdoor daycare space. If there are multiple children in one family, one can be getting a checkup while others play outside. The outdoor daycare space becomes a unique space that almost doubles the daycare space and allows access to the family care area. Similar to daycare and family care, the primary care and acute care are stacked to allow for the use of the flex zone of exam rooms. Both family, acute, and primary use the same type of provider exam room green space relationships. Exam rooms have frosted glass doors and panels of the same wood material as the green network, allowing the network to penetrate the building visually. Provider zones follow the idea of visible yet separated by being enclosed in glass. Both exam rooms and provider zones have access to green terraces, giving each zone an outdoor space.
On the third floor, more private programs are placed, allowing for more privacy and workspace. The northeast and west atriums become all private green spaces, serving the programs on the third floor. The main atrium terrace is a public green space that overlooks the central green space on the site, serving as a peaceful waiting and resting zone.
Aurora's existing networks not only influenced our master plan, but also informed how we design the health clinic. The Salud Family Health Clinic takes the networks extended onto the site and pulls them up and through the clinic, allowing them to influence major circulation paths, green space, and program relationships. The clinic becomes a place dedicated to holistic health of its patients, comfort of its providers, and becoming an important part of Aurora's diverse community.